The buzz around Dallas has hit a new volume this week, Cowboys Nation. The rumor mill is cooking again, and this time the smoke isn't from training camp speculation or some off-season fantasy. It's coming straight out of Las Vegas, where frustration is boiling over and a monster named Maxx Crosby might finally be ready to break free. And if that door cracks open even an inch, you know who's waiting on the other side. Jerry Jones, the ultimate opportunist of the NFL. Crosby is everything this Dallas defense has been missing since its identity started to blur. While the Cowboys' offense under Brian Schottenheimer has been firing on all cylinders, smart, explosive, efficient, the defense has been a riddle. They bend too often on early downs, they lose contain on the edge, and opponents have found that soft perimeter over and over. If you're serious about turning this roster from dangerous into deadly, you need a cornerstone who sets the tone on every snap. That's exactly what Crosby is, a tone setter, a heartbeat, a problem that never turns off. Across the league, insiders confirm that teams are calling the Raiders about his availability. The Raiders aren't officially shopping him, but they aren't hanging up the phone either. That small hesitation, that little bit of curiosity, is all it takes for Jerry Jones to move from listener to deal maker. He's done it before. Amari Cooper, Brandon Cooks, Stephon Gilmore. And every time the league says he won't, he answers with, "Watch me." Now think about what this would mean schematically. Dallas currently ranks near the bottom 10 in run defense, giving up almost 5 yards per carry on outside runs. Add Crosby to that equation, and suddenly those lanes close. Pair him opposite James Houston, flank him with Osa Odigizua and Kenny Clark inside, and you've got a front that can play honest football again. 4 men creating natural pressure, no blitz gamble required. Crosby isn't a situational rusher, he's a 3-down enforcer, taking more than 90% of defensive snaps while keeping his production elite. Over his last 61 games, his adjusted stats show 40 sacks, 63 tackles for loss, and 226 pressures. Those are just numbers. They're consistency carved into granite. Where most edge players fade after 50 snaps, Crosby keeps coming. Power, hands, leverage, repeat. Coaches around the league call him a system in himself. You build around him and everyone else's job gets easier. From a culture standpoint, he's everything Jerry Jones loves. Charisma, fire, story. Remember, Crosby came out of Eastern Michigan as a 4th rounder, battled addiction, rebuilt his life, and turned into one of the league's most respected voices in any locker room. He's the kind of player who raises everyone's effort level just by breathing next to them. That's not hyperbole. Ask the Raiders coaches. He practices like a game and plays like a storm. But there's a bigger emotional pulse in this rumor: the frustration. The Raiders are 1-5, lifeless, and even their own fan base is whispering what used to be unthinkable. Trade Maxx Crosby, he deserves better. They say it on X, they say it on talk radio, they say it because they know he's wasting his prime on a rebuild that isn't close. For Crosby, who's 28 and entering the height of his power, that's a nightmare. So imagine this: Jerry Jones sitting in his office at the Star, watching that Raiders-Colts tape, the 40-6 blowout, and seeing Crosby still chasing plays in the 4th quarter like it's overtime in January. Tell me that doesn't light the fuse. Tell me Jerry doesn't look at that motor and think that's the missing piece. Because history says when Jones smells opportunity, he doesn't wait for permission. And here's where things line up perfectly. Dallas holds extra first-round capital after the Micah Parsons trade. They have financial room to absorb Crosby's cap hit because his $106.5 million extension is already front-loaded through 2026. That means any acquiring team gets a franchise defensive end under control for the next 4 years with no contract drama. The Raiders could take a slice of salary to sweeten the deal, just as insiders hinted they'd consider. Let's talk about what this does for the Cowboys' identity. Since Brian Schottenheimer took the helm, this offense is crisp, creative, balanced, Dak Prescott leading by voice and command, the line protecting like it's 2016 again. But defense is still the question mark. You want a swagger back? You bring in Crosby. He's not just pressure, he's persona. You think AT&T Stadium roars when CeeDee Lamb breaks one? Wait until Crosby buries a quarterback on 3rd and 8 and beats his chest under that roof. That's contagious energy. It changes the emotional gravity of a team. There's also the chess element. Coordinator Matt Eberflus loves versatility but hates fragility. He wants reliability in his four-man fronts. Crosby gives him that. With him, Eberflus can rush 4 and drop 7, forcing quarterbacks into hesitation that leads to turnovers. That's the ecosystem Dallas lived on during its best defensive stretches. Disruption, creating opportunity. And let's be honest, the NFC landscape is shifting. The 49ers look human, the Eagles are inconsistent, and the Lions are ascending but still learning how to close. Insert Maxx Crosby into this Cowboys lineup, and suddenly you're not hoping for a playoff spot, you're positioning for home field advantage. That's how seismic this move could be. Analytically, it's even clearer. Dallas sits outside the top 10 in turnover rate and time to throw disruption. Crosby directly improves both. His pressure creates shorter throws and panic decisions, his run integrity forces 3rd and longs, and his stamina keeps the rotation fresh deep into December. That's why he's not just a good addition, he's the addition that recalibrates the team's ceiling. Now there's the price tag conversation. 2 firsts and a veteran defender might sound steep, but remember what Jerry always says, the window doesn't stay open forever. You can hold on to picks or you can chase rings, but rarely both. And Jerry is 83 years old. He's not building for 2030, he's building for right now. If a deal like this lands, he'd instantly shift Dallas back into the national spotlight as the NFC favorite. From a fan perspective, picture the ripple. Crosby in silver and navy, running out under the lights, the crowd shaking the building. How about them Cowboys echoing through the night? The franchise has had stars, Ware, Irvin, Zeke, Parsons, but this would feel different. This would feel like the piece that pushes everything else into alignment. And if you think Crosby wouldn't love it, listen to him. He said repeatedly that he wants to play where winning matters, where the crowd is alive, where expectations are real. Dallas is that theater. He'd be surrounded by veterans like Kenny Clark and DeMarcus Lawrence, mentoring the young linemen, and a coaching staff built to unleash him, not contain him. So what happens next? That depends on timing. The Raiders' losses pile up, the trade deadline inches closer, and every GM starts checking cap sheets. If Vegas decides to listen seriously, Dallas should be the first number in their call log. Because make no mistake, every contender, from Detroit to Baltimore, is lurking. But none can offer the same blend of market power, championship urgency, and media firepower as the Cowboys. And that's why this rumor has legs. It's not just wishful thinking, it's logic meeting timing. Crosby wants a contender. Dallas needs a cornerstone. The Raiders need picks. It's the rare equation where everyone wins. So here's my challenge to you, Cowboys Nation. If Jerry Jones calls the Raiders tomorrow morning, do you pull the trigger? Do you give up 2 firsts for the man who could redefine this defense for the next 4 years? Let me know in the comments. What's the price you'd pay to see Maxx Crosby wearing the star on his helmet this January? If you believe this team's time is now, smash that like button, drop your trade proposal below, and subscribe so you don't miss a second of what could become the biggest story of the 2025 NFL season. Because if Jerry really makes this move, if Maxx Crosby walks through those doors at the Star, the entire league is going to find out exactly what happens when America's team goes all in.